drunk and slurring. Wait, you're saying I married somebody? Jace Carter's head pounded like a malfunctioning thruster core as he forced himself upright. The room spun, his mouth tasted like regret, and he vaguely remembered chugging something labeled Zelvari Royal Nectar, consume at your own risk. A group of tall, severe-looking aliens in ornate robes stared at him like he just committed war crimes. One of them, a particularly crusty old guy with tentacle eyebrows, pointed a long finger at him. You performed the sacred bonding ritual. The princess is now your mate. Jace blinked. What? Your union is absolute. It cannot be undone. A massive double door slammed open. The crowd parted in fear. A veiled figure stormed in like an executioner about to deliver the final blow. You! That voice. Husky, dangerous, and absolutely furious. Jace got the distinct feeling that if murder wasn't illegal, he'd already be vaporized. The princess stood before him, her silk veil obscuring everything but a pair of glowing, golden eyes burning with the fiery hatred of 1,000 suns. You dared to claim me? Jace threw up his hands. Whoa, hold up. Claim? I don't even know what I claimed. I thought I was signing a guest book. The old alien scoffed. You took the ceremonial token and spoke the words. Jace frowned. What words? The words of eternal bonding. Which are? Guess I'll take her, why not? A heavy silence crashed down on the room. The princess trembled, probably from restraining herself from snapping his spine. Jace dragged a hand down his face. Okay. So, what you're saying is, I accidentally married a faceless alien woman. The priest nodded gravely. Correct. Jace exhaled slowly. Huh. So, congrats to us? The princess's fists clenched. You insufferable, reckless, insignificant. Jace sighed. Yeah? I'm sensing you're not thrilled. But hey! Maybe we should look at the silver lining. I mean, what's a little marriage between intergalactic acquaintances? The advisor stepped forward. There is no silver lining. The bonding ritual is sacred. You are bound, physically, mentally, and legally. If you wish to annul the bond, there is only one way. Jace perked up. Oh. Perfect. Let's do that then. What is it? The advisor's expression darkened. Your immediate execution. Jace went pale. Okay, see, that's a bit extreme. The princess crossed her arms. Zelvari bonds are unbreakable. You should have considered that before speaking so carelessly, human. Jace huffed. Oh, sure, blame the guy who was clearly 3 drinks deep and thought he was playing an alien party game. Who makes a life-altering ritual this easy to screw up? The nobles gasped. Someone fainted. A guard whispered. He insults the ritual. The princess rolled her shoulders like a predator about to pounce. Enough. If I am forced to be bonded to you, human, you will prove yourself. Or you will die trying. Jace groaned. Great. Love where this is going. She snapped her fingers. Take him to the palace. The trials begin at dawn. Guards grabbed him. He sighed. You know, this is not how I imagined my first alien honeymoon. Jace woke up in a bed too fancy for his pay grade, staring at a ceiling painted with cosmic constellations. His brain processed 3 things in quick succession. 1, he wasn't dead yet. 2, he was in some kind of alien royal chamber. 3, he was still very much married to an angry, faceless princess. A voice cut through his thoughts like a dagger. Get up, human! Jace turned his head. There she was, arms crossed, golden eyes glaring from beneath her ever-present veil. You're not even gonna say good morning to your loving husband? Jace smirked. Vanna's voice could have frozen the sun. You are not my husband. Jace stretched, popping his shoulders. Pretty sure your people say otherwise. Also, that priest guy looked pretty serious about it. You are an accident, an embarrassing, irreversible mistake. Jace clutched his chest. Ouch. Right in the feelings. If we're gonna be bonded for life, we should work on communication. Maybe get counseling. You know, cause divorce equals death and all. Vanna exhaled slowly, like she was debating whether murder was still an option. You want communication? Fine. Your first trial begins now. Jace sat up. Oh, good. Nothing like a little morning torment to strengthen a relationship. A door slid open, revealing a towering alien servant holding a tray. Breakfast. Or something vaguely pretending to be breakfast. The servant placed the tray in front of Jace. The food moved. It let out a wet squelch. Something with tentacles twitched. Jace raised an eyebrow. Yeah, see, back on Earth, breakfast usually consists of eggs, bacon, and things that don't scream when you poke them. Vanna sat across from him, elegant even in her barely concealed rage. This is the first test, to accept and respect Zelvari customs. Jace picked up what looked like a gelatinous, vibrating nightmare. So what? I eat this and prove my devotion? Vanna's eyes gleamed. Yes. Unless, of course, you'd rather admit weakness before the royal court. Jace glanced at the watching nobles, all waiting for him to fail spectacularly. He sighed. Fine. But if I die, I haunt this palace. That's a human custom. He took a bite. And immediately regretted every decision leading up to this moment. The texture? Like chewing raw snails filled with jello. The taste? Like burnt rubber dipped in expired fish sauce. His soul left his body for a solid 3 seconds. He forced it down. The nobles murmured in surprise. Vanna, to his shock, looked mildly impressed. Humph. You survived. Jace wiped his mouth, swallowing down pure trauma. Not the worst thing I've put in my mouth, but definitely top 5. Vanna stood. You may have passed this trial, human, but the next will not be so easy. Jace groaned. Why do I feel like this marriage is just one long attempt to assassinate me? Vanna smirked. Because it is. Jace was beginning to suspect that Zelvari bonding customs were just an elaborate way to make sure unworthy suitors died before the honeymoon. The second trial took place in what could only be described as a death arena. Elegant? Sure. Beautiful architecture, glowing energy pillars, a crowd of judgmental nobles watching from above. But the massive, armored beast chained in the center made it very clear that this was less of a romantic bonding exercise and more of a hope the human survives type of deal. Jace rolled his shoulders. So, this is the part where I fight for your honor, huh? Vanna, standing beside him, tilted her head. Fight? No. That would be barbaric. Jace let out a relieved breath. Oh, thank God. You must tame it. Jace blinked. Come again? Vanna gestured toward the beast. It is a Turnox. A sacred guardian of our people. Bondmates must demonstrate their ability to command respect through sheer force of will. Jace squinted at the four-legged monstrosity covered in spiked carapace, its red eyes glowing with pure hatred. Yeah, see, that's gonna be a problem. Because I don't command respect. I wing it and hope nobody notices. The nobles laughed. Vanna smirked. Then we shall see if luck is on your side today. Jace took a step forward. The Turnox growled, the ground shaking beneath its claws. He looked at its massive horns, its razor-sharp fangs, and made a judgment call. Hey, big guy, Jace said. Listen, I don't want to be here, you don't want to be here. I'm guessing this is a mutual inconvenience. The beast snarled. Jace raised his hands. What if we just fake it? You sit. I look like a badass. Everyone wins. The Turnox lunged. Jace dodged for his life. Alright, cool, so we're doing this the hard way. The crowd cheered for his inevitable demise. Vanna simply watched, arms crossed. Jace spotted a weak point, a patch of soft scales under its jaw. He took a deep breath, then did what no Zelvari had ever considered doing. He scratched it. Right under the chin. The beast froze. Then, to everyone's absolute horror, it rumbled in pleasure. Jace grinned. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Big ol' murder puppy. The Turnox flopped onto its side, tail wagging. A collective gasp rippled through the arena. Vanna's jaw actually dropped. Jace gave her a cocky smile. So, does this mean I pass? Vanna stared at him. Then at the traitorous Turnux, now rolling onto its back like a happy house pet. You are insufferable. Jace smirked. Yeah, but I'm still your bondmate. Jace barely had time to bask in his bullshit-fueled victory before he was dragged into the next trial, one that, judging by Vanna's smug expression, was designed specifically to break him. They led him into what looked like a royal chamber, filled with incense, soft cushions, and far too many suggestively placed drapes. Jace folded his arms. Okay, so what's the catch? Giant snake? Death puzzle? Another nightmare breakfast? Vanna tilted her head. No. This trial is simple. You must resist. Jace blinked. Resist what? A set of double doors opened. The scent hit him first, something warm, floral, and completely intoxicating. Then came the sound of light footsteps, the shimmer of exotic silks, and the feeling that he was about to make very poor life choices. 3 Zelvari attendants entered, *** tall, elegant, and absolutely breathtaking. *** their shimmering skin glowed under the soft light, and the way they moved was not fair. Jace immediately knew he was screwed. Vanna sat on a nearby throne, arms crossed. In this trial, you must prove your loyalty by resisting the call of the siren's allure. Jace exhaled. Right. So, just to be clear, I pass if I don't touch anyone? Vanna smirked. If you break, it will be quite public. The attendants circled him, their voices low and melodic. One traced a delicate finger over his shoulder. Another whispered in his ear. Are you certain you wish to resist? Jace's brain screamed. His body had other ideas. This was not fair. The soft touches. The teasing whispers. The fact that his body was reacting exactly how they wanted. He clenched his fists. Focused. He'd survived killer food, a murder beast, and legally binding drunk decisions. He was not losing to this. Jace took a breath. Ladies, I appreciate the effort. Really. Top-tier seduction. But if I fail this test, I die. And I've grown kinda attached to not being dead. One of them giggled. Are you certain that's the only reason? Jace looked at Vanna. She was watching him intently, expression unreadable behind her veil. That was when it hit him. This wasn't just a test of self-control. This was a test of her. Would he choose a faceless, angry princess over literal perfection? Jace straightened. Pretty sure. Then he took a step back. Vanna's eyes widened. The attendant sighed in disappointment. A shame, one murmured. He would have been delicious. Jace let out the shakiest breath of his life. Yeah, well, I like to think of myself as a man of culture. The attendants withdrew. The tension broke. Vanna stood, stepping closer. You passed. Jace grinned, wiping sweat from his brow. Barely. Vanna studied him. Then, softly, she said, Perhaps I was wrong about you. Jace smirked. You saying you're starting to like me, princess? She scoffed. Don't push it, human. But for the first time since this disaster of a marriage began, her voice held something new. Not anger. Something else entirely.